At a certain point, it begs the question, can I even see around this thing to see the camera? Hey guys, this is one game timestamp. It is a one game timestamp. Oh my goodness, this thing is so big. Alright, this is, if you couldn't see from right there, it's the Everdell Complete Collection. And I have finished stickering all the meeples. I haven't finished stickering the occupied tokens, but I've done the rest. So I want to talk to you guys about Everdell, which is a game that I really, really enjoy, and which is now absurdly big. And this is actually probably going to lead into another video where I talk about how big a game can get. But I guess first I should at least open this up for the people that are looking above. So as you can see on here, this does a good job of showing you the order in which everything should go and where each section is oriented within the box itself. The one thing I don't have is these deluxe resource vessels, but you can see within the resource box that they can fit those within there, and I'll show you what that is later. But yeah, this fits pretty much everything for Everdell. What you have right here are the kind of like open signifiers that you can put on everybody's locations around the board for when they're eligible to be moved to and activated. And then all of the other 3D little constructions here, all of these pieces are associated with the Pearlbrook expansion. Those are the points. And you can see the little Pearlbrook swimming frog right there. So these are the cardboard pieces that go along with Pearlbrook, and then open and closed markers that you can use to give yourself a little bit more visibility around the table as to when there's a location on somebody else's city tableau card. If you're not familiar with Everdell, it is it's a seasonal progression tableau building card game in which players are competing to have the most points by the end of the game. You get points based off of the critter and construction cards that you build within your city, the events that you are able to claim before anybody else, the special events that you might be able to do the same for, and then also any other additional scoring elements that are in play based off of whatever version of the game or expansion of the game that you are playing with. I have got some stickers there that, as you can see, I need to apply to some tokens. This is the archive, which shows you pretty much everything about every element in the game. It's kind of like an extensive glossary / encyclopedia for all of the different elements within the game at large. And then the Gilded Book here is a really, really nice large rule book that includes all of the comprehensive rules, again incorporating all of the expansions that you might encounter. And so it does a good job of separating all that out. You've got two different books, a glossary and then also your rule book. Those are kind of your, guides to Everdell, so to speak. And then you've got, right here, you've got your meeples and also the wooden, the wooden Everdell tree. Now, I will say, I guess I can, I haven't actually done it with the wooden one, but I do think that a criticism of Everdell in the past has been people didn't like the fact that the cardboard tree tore apart so easily, that it was so quickly damaged. And I think that that's valid. I would say that Belfair tried to fix that by giving you just a flat surface to work with rather than having an actual tree. And then also, I think it just depends on how much you're playing the game. And I know that some people just decided to never put it together or never break it down and always keep it constructed. This wooden one, I think, will hopefully work quite well in terms of allowing you to effectively build this. And, for me, I haven't physically built this tree in years. because a lot of my more recent Everdell playing has actually been on the mobile app. But, you know, this is just me trying to prove that it is doable. Where is it? There it is. Well, here I am proving that it's doable and then not able to do it. I don't know where I'm getting caught on, to be honest. Maybe it's right there. Not entirely sure. There we go. Okay. I think that's it. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's the tree, and the fact that this is now made out of wood means that this is not going to like bear that damage so quickly. When you have those cardboard pieces, especially any soft edges like that, it can very easily create you know, bent edges and stuff like that that make construction even harder, and that actually tear apart the layers of the cardboard that you know are glued or pressed together. And I think that this makeup of having actually it made out of wood means that, you know, you can pretty comfortably deconstruct it, knowing that the deconstruction of it won't result in it just falling apart gradually over time. And so I think that that is a good element that they have fixed, is creating a much easier way to go about it. So this is the Everdell tree that you construct. This is where you place your workers on top of, and those workers are where you pull them off as you progress through the seasons. You start off in winter, and then you move through spring and summer and fall. Underneath where that is kept is actually all of the meeples. So you absolutely don't have to do it, but they do come with stickers, so you can sticker all of them. So, you know, I can try to show some of these to you in terms of seeing the artwork on those. I don't think that that's necessarily going to autofocus, but instead of having just the flat color of the meeple, you can have colorful artwork. So this took me probably, I'd say, about between 2 and 3 hours to sticker all of these. Every single faction has a particular type of animal that you have stickers for, and then because of all the expansions, the Pearlbrook expansions gives you the Frog Ambassadors, and then the Spire Crest expansion gives you the Rabbit Travelers. So every single faction has those, and then you have the large meeples that you can get through Spire Crest, and then you also have the large Nightweave meeple that you get from the Nightweave or Mistwood expansion is the one that grants that. So this is the tray that gives you all of the people, and that also is what hosts the tree as well. Underneath that you have all of the resources, and so you can technically have all these bagged up if you want to. I don't. So you've got your points here, your 6, your 3, and your 1 points. You've got your occupied tokens. You have got your berries. You've got your wood. You've got your pearl, which is from Pearlbrook. You've got your stone and your amber, and then you've got all of the other elements here. I've kept the cardboard money. If I have space for it, I keep stuff like that. Otherwise, I get rid of it. You've got your tokens here for other elements of the game, and you've got one thing that I particularly love is these little saddles. These saddles here, which they probably don't look entirely like saddles, but you can actually put these on the large meeples and then put your small meeples on top of them. So it's animals riding animals, which I think is hilarious. Which I guess at the end of the day, if we're being like literal about it, humans riding horses and stuff like that are just animals riding animals. So it's cuter with the meeples, though. You've got dice, which I'm assuming maybe have to do with Mistwood because they have a very dark tone to them, and I'm not familiar with the dice, at least unless I remember that poorly from Spirecrest or Pearlbrook. I'm almost positive Pearlbrook doesn't. Spirecrest would be the only one that maybe, but I think I'm right on that. So resources are underneath your meeples here, and then underneath that are all of the boards that you have that you can construct stuff with. So you've got the base boards here. The thing that I like about the Everdell board construction is that all of the pieces kind of go together. So this right here is the Belfair expansion. And if you don't like constructing the tree every time, this gives you slots for the meeples. And, you know, this cross section of the tree right here is not meant to represent a stump. It's meant to like represent the Everdell tree. But it just creates a flat space if you don't want to worry about the actual physical tree construction every time you play the game. And so this right here is the Everdell construction, or the Everdell board. On this side is the board that goes with Pearlbrook, and the river continues into kind of like a large river or pool area there. And then slotting into this like a puzzle piece at the bottom of this is, and I don't know how well you can see that on the top down, but slotting into this puzzle piece is the Spire Crest, which kind of shows like the different biomes or regions that you travel through in terms of like the desert and mountains and stuff like that. And that's where you have your rabbit travelers go around. It's possible that I don't know if New Leaf comes over here. I actually have not played with either of the two new expansions. They are ones that were released alongside this complete collection or complete edition of the game. So I myself have not entirely. I think this was. I'm trying to remember how this went. Did it go like that? Maybe? Yeah, I think it went like that. So, I have not played with either of those two new expansions. I'm excited to check them out. But this is how that is set up there. And then over here, I'll take this box out to more appropriately show what's going on here. I really like it when any game that has a lot of components provides the dividers for it. So I don't know how well you can see that, but essentially every single aspect of the game, all of the expansions and stuff have their individual divider tabs that you can know where those components are. So you are able to find the poker-sized and the small-sized cards that you need in order to get playing. It's been like a burpy day for me. I'm just like burpity, burpity, burp. So you have your board down here, and I think I can go ahead and pop that over it in order to give myself some space. Slot that back in. I really like Everdell. I think it's a fun game. I have personally played it quite a bit. I've played it probably over half a dozen times easily physically across the base game, the Pearlbrook and the Spirebrook expansions. And then I have played it, let me see where do I think this goes in terms of the layout? Not entirely certain. Maybe that feels the most natural. We'll see. We'll see if that's what feels the most natural. It can't be it. Yeah, there we go. It's got to slot in lower like that. Okay. Yeah, I really like Everdell. I've played it, like I said, quite a bit physically, but then also at the end of the day, I have played it quite a lot online with the digital adaptation of the game. And I enjoy it. I think it's a very fun drafting game. I think that the more you play it, the more you start to realize a lot of the possible scoring options that you can get. Man, let me